So the way we found out about Andrew Mason was through Ruby Radar. I think Preston pointed me to that, and then I looked at it, and so and it's a basically a weekly newsletter of Ruby and Rails stuff, and I've been subscribed to it for a while, and I've really enjoyed it. It's been very useful in my job actually. Pointed me to some things that were actually very timely for some problems I was having. So, hey, thanks for that. Um, what? Why'd you decide to start that?
Well, number one, thank you. That makes me feel very good because
Yeah.
as someone who I waste a lot of time because I'm very ADHD. So I'm always starting little projects and then stopping them and then trying something else and seeing what works. And it's nice to see Ruby Radar kind of hit that product market fit in a way.
Hmm.
I think that's mostly because my co-writer, Colin Gilbert, has helped keep me on track and keep me on the rails. If I can stay on the track, then like stuff gets done, right? But it's all about, you got to feed the fire.
Right.
So, um, your question was like, how did we get it started or why?
Yeah. Yeah. What kind of prompted that? What?
What prompted it was there was a multitude of things. And I'll hit one of them, which is kind of the main factor. But before I go there, it's mostly like I collect a lot of links throughout the week, and I have all these weird workflow systems that I won't go into. I've gotten into it on other podcasts and stuff
Yeah.
about how I save links and contents and highlight things on the internet and funnel things into a vault and like all this other stuff. So but the problem was is that I was looking at all of these intricate, way too intricate overkill systems that I had in place. And they made me happy and they brought me some weird sort of comfort or enjoyment on some sort of level. But I was like, I don't do anything with them. There's no point in me. I spent all this time like thinking about this organization and like, how I'm doing these things, and yet nothing happens. So I had always wanted to start a newsletter, but I never wanted to write it, right? Because I'm a very like in the moment writer. I have tons and tons of content that's unreleased that I like. It has to be in the moment, right? That I'll do
Yeah.
it. But I constantly have cool things that I want to share with people, right? That I find around the internet. I'm like, this is a super, like, I found a tool the other day. Actually, I found it a long time ago, but I finally showed it to someone and then shared it, where you can put a JSON like response inside of this editor and it will use dry struct and dry RB to create an interface for it and like type it for you. So, and like convert it into like valid Ruby. So, like, there's all these cool things that I find and I want to share them, and that's what Ruby Radar is. It's very we're trying to like make it as like, how can we ship this out as quickly as possible? And we use review, which has been great for our purposes, because what it is just 10 curated links every single Sunday morning right in your inbox that Colin and I procure, find around the web, Twitter, events, conferences, tweet like cool tweets that we found, blog articles people have sent us, anything, anything that people want to share with people. Like, we want Ruby Radar to be like a platform for you to come like with your content, and there be no barrier for us to like posting it for you, like sharing it with other people, helping grow your audience and kind of just grow the like, our goal is to grow the audience of like Rubyists like around us and kind of amplify content, right? Because there's so much really cool content that gets created in the Ruby community every single week. Every single week, it's just stuff that was created in that past week, right? And we've been going now for like weeks and weeks and weeks with this.
Hmm.
So there's no shortage of content. And I felt like Ruby Weekly is great at being, that long-standing source of like, curated content every week. That there was something about like my ADHD brain that like Ruby Weekly, for whatever reason, it gives me anxiety, right? Not crazy anxiety, just like a little bit of like, I look at all this stuff, I'm like, oh, I need to go through every single one and figure out what they're all about. And there's so many, there's such great content. Peter Gruber's done a great job with it. But I was like, I just want to know the most important stuff, right? Like,
Hmm.
what's the top? I want the bubble. And I also wanted to see content from, a wider variety, I think, of like sources, like different types, more mediums. Because he does a great job of sharing a lot of articles, but I wanted to see what people are talking about on Twitter about on Ruby this week, and what's on YouTube.
Hmm.
So that was why we started Ruby Radar primarily. It was just a way to amplify the voices of creators in the Ruby community. It was also a way for me to satisfy this need to like create side projects every day. This one finally stuck because I had someone to do it with. But the other part was that at the time, like Colin is a good friend of mine and I mentor him every week. We meet every week and we talk. And at the time he was like starting to think about his next move. And I was like, dude, what if we like, I think I was like, in my opinion, the greatest way to like prep for like, if you're thinking, okay, it might be time to start interviewing, we need to get your name out there. Right. So as many people as possible. So let's start. Like I've already had this idea for a long time. If you want to do it with me, I feel like this would be a great way to like instantly kick up some SEO on your name, get your name out there to people who see it, to Ruby's like, and like show them that like, you know, you're like this great developer and like, here's the way that they can get introduced to like just your name so that when you are looking for a job and like, oh, yeah, he's the Ruby Radar guy, right?
Yeah.
So that was the other component of it is I saw it as a way to kind of like amplify him so that when he was going to be looking for a job, that it would be a little bit easier. And he started this week with Chris Oliver at GoRails. So
awesome.
It was kind of fun to see that play out.
That's great. Yeah, mentoring somebody in development is fun. I've done that a few times, and it's a really enjoyable part of my job, my career.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's really cool. And I do really appreciate Ruby Radar because when I found it and looked at it, I was like, this is great because what I need at my job, I'm so busy. I need once a week to just headline scan. I don't have time to go research all this stuff. And so it's
right.
been really good. So yeah, keep that up. It's helping people. So,
that's good to hear.
Very cool.
If you like this clip and want to watch another one, you can click right here. Or if you want to watch the full video, you can click here.